A serious danger is looming towards the Ukrainian defenders. Huge columns of armored vehicles are splitting up and attacking the positions of the AFU. The first tank is stepping on a mine barrier. Ukrainian drones are on red alert. The APC, which came closest to the wooded area, becomes the target of the first drone. After an accurate hit, we see a huge wall of smoke. A moment later, another Russian tank becomes the victim of a kamikaze drone. An AFU soldier fires a shot from an RPG. The precision strike destroys the ugly Frankenstein tank. Another tank falls into the crosshairs of an ATGM. Shots fired. The battlefield is covered in smoke. A Russian tin can approaches a wooded area, but immediately steps on a mine. Another target arrives. A Ukrainian drone drops explosives right on the turret. Another drone strikes, and the tank turns into molecules. The Ukrainian drones keep firing. It's clear the attack has failed. A mine stops the tank that tried to escape. The other two targets also decide to flee. An AFU drone was able to track one of them. The first strike stops the enemy. The second drone hits the ammunition and causes a massive fire. In a matter of minutes, the target is reduced to dust. The Russian attack has failed. A group of drones fly in to burn the remaining armored vehicles. A T-80 gets hit right on the inside and catches fire instantly. Another tank is hit. The next target is an APC. And the final blow. Bright flames envelop the enemy scumbag. The attack is stopped, but the Ukrainian infantrymen are in a bad situation. They need help. Bradley rides out at lightning speed to evacuate his fellow soldiers. To buy some time, cluster munitions are used. Bradley arrives and fires on the Russian positions. As they recover, he conducts the evacuation. The Bushmaster cannon sizzles the wooded area, allowing them to successfully escape the danger zone. I think this kind of work by the AFU deserves your likes. Look how intimidating the Abrams is. These buildings need to be destroyed. Ukrainian intelligence sends the coordinates to the American Beast. It only takes a few rounds to do the job. This is a $60 million Russian Kasta radar station. In the middle is the hardware and antenna machine. Above that is the diesel power plant. HIMARS is launching missiles. The first missile takes out the hardware machine. We see a tungsten fragmentation zone. Immediately afterward, the power plant is hit. The next target is a P-18 radar station. This one's worth about $3 million. Two projectiles from the HIMARS come in close to the target. The shrapnel disables the radar station. At the same time, the tank could not get far. Several kamikaze drones turn it into a pile of useless metal. And you've never seen so many Russian APCs. One of the tanks is hit by a mine. The others continue the attack. The column splits up. The first group successfully makes it to the right place, but the Ukrainian artillery became a big problem for them. At the same time, we see a drone hit one of the targets. The APC is enveloped in fire. The second group moves on. The tanks break through the mine barriers and reach the desired forest clearing. The armored vehicles stop and become an easy target for the AFU. Drones and artillery are hitting the enemy without stopping. there are accurate hits. Someone is going to escape. A drone strike stops the first APC, and a mine stops the second one from leaving. The drone flies right inside that APC. We see a massive explosion. The flames are slowly spreading, and the tin can is no longer operational. Let's move to another direction. This is where the Russians have decided to launch a major assault. The thermal imaging drone transmits information about a huge column of armored vehicles. We see the first target being hit by a mine. A precision kamikaze drone strike eliminates the second target. The column splits up. This MTLB took a hit and tried to hide in the foliage, but they found it there too. A precision strike, and we see a spectacular explosion from several angles. Then, in a very targeted strike, the drone destroys the tank. It is instantly enveloped in fire. A strike on a Russian APC. The flames reach the ammunition, and a strong explosion turns the equipment into ashes. We see the next target from the drone operator's console. A targeted FPV hits the Russian APC. Fire appears. The APC has stopped, with a second targeted hit. FPV takes out the enemy. The drones have also taken out the rest of the enemy. Look how easy they're making it. Next, Recon has located a Russian Tulip mortar. One drone can easily take out an enemy. Even though it was very dangerous. Then he quickly grabbed a fire extinguisher and successfully put out the fire. This tank was able to return home and was subsequently repaired. As a result, this brave guy saved the tank and the rest of the crew. We also have footage of another fatal duel. This Russian tank on the edge of the village engaged in battle with a Ukrainian tank. We see the Russian tank firing towards the Ukrainian tank. However, the shell likely missed. In response, the Ukrainian tank fires back at the Russian tank and hits it directly. From the incoming shell, the Russian tank immediately exploded and was completely destroyed. Then the Ukrainian tank left the battlefield. Now, take a look at this video. This is probably the most epic tank duel of the entire war. We see one tank moving forward, while the second tank is in ambush. At one moment, the second tank delivers a crushing blow to the first tank. As a result, the first tank was destroyed. Unfortunately, it is unknown which side the first and second tanks belong to. If you have any ideas, please write them down in the comments. But Ukrainian tank crews are not eager to get close to the enemy in Soviet-made tanks, knowing how vulnerable they are. In this video, you can see one such tank approaching the Russians within a few dozen meters. However, doing so is very dangerous. The Russians can use anti-tank grenades and easily damage the tank. If the tank does not have additional protection, it can easily explode. Even the lightest anti-tank weapons can destroy a Soviet-designed tank. Sometimes the Ukrainians get lucky, and the grenades fly past, right over their heads. Therefore, Ukrainian soldiers use old tanks very carefully.